Who would have thought this guy could write and produce one of the better slashers of recent memory?
I'm a cannibal, hombre! We're gonna f***ing eat your ass!
I'm Lindsay, and this is my review for Halloween. This movie was probably one of the most anticipated Halloween season movies of the year. While I'm a huge fan of the original and a couple of the sequels, most of the series I could take or leave. So when they announced they were doing another Halloween movie, I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I'm excited for it, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up for anything spectacular. While I don't think this is the best slasher movie I've ever seen, I don't even think it's the best horror movie of the year. I think with trying to reboot and revitalize this iconic of a series, they handled it pretty well. For those of you who don't know, this movie is a continuation of the original 1978 Halloween. It throws all of the sequels and all the rest of the canon out the window and just is a continuation of that first film. This film brings back two actors from the original film. You have Jamie Lee Curtis, who was Laurie Strode, and you also have Nick Castle, who played the Shape in the original film. While Jamie Lee Curtis has popped up in previous sequels, this time when she revisited the character, it was very much a story about her and about Laurie Strode and the impact that the events of the first film had on that character. I think that's what I liked most about it. I mean, they kind of give her the Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton treatment between the original Terminator and T2, where, I mean, she doesn't get buffed up, but she knows how to shoot guns, she knows self-defense, she knows home defense. She is fully prepared for this thing to come back and stalk her again. In fact, she's been praying for it. You really see what the trauma of the events of the first film did to her life, how it affected every facet of her life, from her just being able to go out in public, her relationship with her daughter, her relationship with her granddaughter, her relationship with the public in general. Those events of the first film overshadowed her entire life, and they became her life and her life's focus. And it really speaks to the effects of trauma and loss and fear. I think they handled the character of Michael Myers very well. He is still very much mysterious and just pure evil, and it's funny, every single person that tries to understand him on a psychological level in this film ends up dead. And Laurie Strode is really the only person still living that sees him as just pure evil and in need of being destroyed.
He was shot by his own psychiatrist and taken into custody that night. And has spent the last 40 years in captivity.
Even though they did wipe out the canon of all the subsequent sequels of Halloween, they definitely threw a nod out to them here and there. You see the silver shamrock costumes from Halloween 3. You see some familiar looking set pieces, like a gas station, the ice machine, the bathroom scene. Those are all nods to previous sequels. And they also utilize parts of the script to retcon a few things, such as Laurie Strode and Michael Myers being related. They address that in a scene where they say that that's just rumors and conjecture and that they are absolutely not related whatsoever. So you still really don't have any reasoning for why he's so obsessed with Laurie Strode and why he ultimately wants to kill her.
Wasn't it her brother who murdered all those babysitters?
No, it was not her brother. That's something that people made up.
I think the score was very well done. There are some people that are a bit contentious on this, that don't like it. I enjoyed it very much. I thought it was they used the original 1978 theme song, but give it a nice update, and it fits with the story very well and lends a lot more atmosphere and suspense. I really liked the opening title card, where in the original you just have Halloween the name and the glowing jack-o'-lantern. In this one, through that entire opening credit sequence, you see that original jack-o'-lantern, and it's coming back to life from this rotted carcass of a pumpkin up into that original jack-o'-lantern that we are so familiar with from the original. And that kind of symbolizes a rebirth of this story. And I think they kind of have plans to do a trilogy, so if this one goes well, I'm sure we'll see other movies. They definitely left it open for a sequel, or sequels. You get some interesting characters and character development. I didn't really care for her granddaughter, just because I didn't feel like there was a lot there character-wise. She didn't really lend a lot to the story, except for just someone for Jamie Lee Curtis to react to and care about and be scared for. This movie plays a lot of homage to the original. You get a lot of same sequences that you did in the original, a few same shots. There are times when Laurie Strode's character takes the place of where Michael Myers was in the first film. So it pays respect to the original while at the same time going in a new direction and doing its own thing. There's plenty of gore in this movie and they don't shy away from it, which is a good thing. I don't think it was all practical effects though. There were a few where it seemed to be CGI and not practical. Had some great kills. Some of them were pretty icky, especially the set of cops at the end. You don't really see them killed, but you do see the aftermath and it's pretty gruesome.
Hello?
The biggest problem I think I had with this film was the ending. It wasn't a terrible ending, but it seemed a little ham-fisted and predictable to me. There were definitely some powerful moments and creepy moments in the ending, but overall I found it to be less than what was expected. I didn't expect any kind of twist or anything like that. It seemed almost a little anticlimactic. But overall, I did enjoy this film. There are definitely more pluses than minuses. I would recommend it, especially if you're a horror fan. If you're a fan of the original, I would definitely check it out and see how it compares for you. It wasn't bad, it wasn't amazing, but it was perfectly acceptable. So go check it out and let me know what your thoughts are. This is Lindsay signing off. I'll check you later.